How are we, my friends? You are very welcome along to Thursday evening's Anfield Agenda News Roundup. But we're going to be talking about Alexis McAllister and a potential move to Real Madrid. We're also going to discuss Mohamed Salah and how he's quite happy to see out his Liverpool contract. We'll be telling you which football club in the world has the biggest net spend on transfers over the last 5 years, and a little bit on Rio Engamoa. As always though, my friends, this is about you, so let us know your thoughts in the comment section. Drop a like if you enjoyed the video, but most importantly, please do hit that subscribe button and double check to make sure that you are subscribed. We really are on a push here with the channel to try to close down the 500,000 subscriber mark. So every one of you that hits that subscribe button really does, well, help us on our journey. Right, look, we have a lot to go through. We're going to get straight into the Alexis McAllister story. And Ian Doyle of the Echo has said this on Alexis McAllister. This is a World Cup year. If McAllister has a good run with Argentina, there's every chance that Real Madrid will be sniffing around him, and with 2 years left in his contract, if a new deal isn't agreed, when Liverpool would have a decision to make should a big money offer come in. Now, regular viewers of the channel will know I've been hinting at this for a few months now, the possibility of Alexis McAllister going to Real Madrid. Now, the only part that kind of delayed me on this was the Curtis Jones situation, because of course he's going to have a year to run on his Liverpool contract at the end of this season, and we have to sort that one out as well. But I've always spoken about the possibility of a midfielder being sacrificed to bring in a defensive midfielder. What I mean by midfielder is a number 8, a central midfielder. So if Real Madrid do come in with a lot of money, let's wait and see, because remember, Alexis McAllister, 27, 28 years of age by the time all of this happens. Let's wait and see what happens with his contract situation and if Real Madrid really do make a play after the World Cup. So let us know your thoughts on that in the comment section. Now, I'm not wishing away Alexis McAllister, far from it. I'm a big MACCA fan. But do let me know what you think happens with the McAllister situation and the Curtis Jones situation. Now, a little bit on Jurgen Klopp, because Red Bull's managing director has been speaking about the rumours that Jurgen Klopp could be about to be replaced by Oliver Glasner. And this is what he's had to say. That is complete nonsense and entirely made up. On the contrary, we're extremely satisfied with the work Jurgen Klopp is doing. He invests a great deal of time and effort, is in constant communication with our coaches and sporting directors, and continues to develop our Red Bull football philosophy in a sustainable way. We're convinced that he's the right man for this job. That is why we're putting all of our focus and energy. So it looks like Jurgen has nothing to be worried about there. And look, it would be a bit of a downgrade, wouldn't it? Going from the all-encompassing Jurgen Klopp to Oliver Glasner, who was a brilliant footballing mind, but he hasn't got the charisma of a Jurgen. So I think they're well versed to keep with Jurgen there. And what a life Jurgen is living. I mean, I'm sure you're enjoying him on socials as well. If he's not being a cowboy, he's ranking American foods and living his best life, which is what we all want for Jurgen. So Lewis Bowyer, who does some great work around the underage players at Liverpool Football Club, he said, exclusive, Trent Cone-Doherty has been offered a new deal at Liverpool Football Club. However, he has the opportunity to go to Malta and be part of their first team on a permanent deal. As things stand, he said, a move is close. So let's keep an eye on this one. Trent Cone-Doherty, of course, came from Derry City over here in Ireland across to Liverpool. So I will keep you up to date if anything develops there. Mohamed Salah. Football Insider say this about the great man. Now look, truth is, I don't know what happens this summer, folks, with Mohamed Salah. We all wonder whether he'll stay, whether he'll go, if he's falling out with Arna, if Arna goes, will that change things or not? Truth is, I don't know at the minute. My gut, that tells me he could leave this summer, but I couldn't say anything with any degree of certainty. So this piece here said, Mohamed Salah is prepared to see out the remainder of his contract at Liverpool, which runs until the end of next season. If a move to the Saudi Pro League doesn't materialise this summer, he's happy to stay at the Reds. The 33-year-old remains relaxed about his future. I'm sure he does. I mean, ultimately, he's on 400 grand a week at Liverpool and playing in a really good team and idolised by fans. Or he can go to the Saudi Pro League to be paid a lot of money and be idolised by fans. So win-win there for Mo, of course, but the level of football completely different. Let me know what you think happens with the great man this summer. So, Liverpool Extra, quoting Paul Joyce, have said, Liverpool languished in 13th place when they prepared to face Nuno Espirito Santo's West Ham, and now we are in 6th. Back in contention for the Champions League qualification, which he says is so important for the self-sustaining model. That got me thinking. So we often talk about objectives at the start of the season. And as fans, of course, we want Champions League football, but we don't want it just because of the money that comes with it. We want it because we want Liverpool to win it. But it does seem like that is a huge box ticked for any manager under FSG to make sure that they have Champions League football. So I wonder if Arne does find his way into fifth, fourth position in the Premier League with the Reds, regardless of what happens in the domestic cups, or excuse me, the FA Cup at this point, and the Champions League, would that be enough? I hope no, because for me it's still a massive failure for the season. But let me know what you think here. Look, I can understand the need for the money for the owners. Of course I can. I can understand it's a huge part of the club's makeup, being able to sell hospitality packages, being able to sell themselves to sponsors, being able to attract the best players. But it isn't a trophy, and I never want to get this confused. It's great for the owners and it's great for the club, but for us fans, we want trophies. That's what this is about. So let me know your thoughts on that self-sustaining model and the importance of Champions League football, because nobody's going to deny the money that it brings to the club. And of course, top players are going to want to play in the top competition. But for me, it still doesn't excuse the absolutely catastrophic failure in the league this season that we've seen. But again, they're just my thoughts. I want to know yours. Right, let's talk Victor Osimhen for a second, because Juventus, of course, were knocked out by Galatasaray in the Champions League in extra time. So let's wait and see what happens with the draw tomorrow, which, by the way, Connor will be here to take you through. I think I've just gone blue there on the screen for a second, but we'll all just pretend we didn't see it. You know, I've got this, added this thing to my bow lately where I'm able to make myself disappear. It's not something I want to boast about, but occasionally you'll just see me disappear off screen randomly just because, you know, shenanigans and all that. Anyway, Victor Osimhen. He doesn't want to play Liverpool again. I don't blame him. I'm not going to lie to you, folks. The idea of Galatasaray or Atletico Madrid, yeah, it's going to be a tough watch over 290 minutes against either of those sides. But this is what Victor Osimhen had to say. To be honest with you, meeting Liverpool now is going to be like some sort of revenge. I wouldn't say much, but I'd like to escape Liverpool. But if they come, yeah, we're going to dig it out, and it's not going to be easy. You got damn right, it's not going to be easy, bro. You beat us over there 1-0. The shenanigans, the antics, the rolling around, well, they were difficult to watch. So, yeah, whoever we get, and it will be Atletico or Galatasaray, it's going to be, let's say, two all-encompassing 90 minutes full of shenanigans and not a lot of time with the ball in play. If there's one thing I do hope for these two games, it's that whatever referee is, they're strong and they don't let them away with the shenanigans that we've seen. Because I watched the Juventus Galatasaray game and there was some shenanigans going on there as well. So, Liverpool Extra talk about Jeremy Frimpong, and they say Frimpong has felt the step up from the Bundesliga to the Premier League quite a bit. Goes on to say he didn't sit out a single league game at Leverkusen, but has had 3 injuries so far during his time at Liverpool. But apparently he's taken up Pilates now, folks, so it's all good. It's all good. Now, and genuinely though, I understand him taking up Pilates to try and build up his muscle strength and resistance. So, yeah, let me know your thoughts on that one. I'm all for anything, by the way. Anything that helps our players stay fit and makes them more readily available for the manager. Now, Chelsea booked the highest pre-tax loss in English football history for the 24-25 season per data released by UEFA. The club booked a €407 million or £342 million pre-tax deficit. That's coming from the Athletic. So, again, massive numbers there. Everybody was talking about Liverpool's transfer spend. Well, we had a net spend, I think, of about 200 million quid. Chelsea, bigger net spend yet again, but, you know, never going to be held to account, are they? Seemingly. So, Manchester United. Let's talk about them, because Chelsea, we're talking 1 year. Manchester United, even worse. Manchester United's net spending on transfers has been the highest in the world over the past 5 years, a UEFA financial report has revealed. The level of spending underlines the scale of Manchester United's performance from the start of 2021 to 2025. UEFA's club licence and benchmarking report said that United's net spending on transfers over that 5-year period was, are you ready for this? €794 million or £692 million. Now remember, that's net spending, so after money recouped. Followed by Chelsea on £656 million and Arsenal on £587 million. So Liverpool, nowhere mentioned there. Chelsea were by far the biggest gross spenders on transfers. They spent £1.93 billion. Almost £2 billion on transfers. Let that sit. Almost £2 billion. About 56% more than the next highest spenders, Manchester City, who splashed out £1.23 billion. They were followed by Chelsea, however, had the most money from transfer income of 711 million, followed by City on 666 million. But there you can see the numbers laid out. Liverpool nowhere to be seen with the big spenders, despite being one of, if not the most supported clubs in world football. So, Paul Joyce to finish up, and that piece was from the Times, by the way, that I just discussed there with all the numbers. This from Liverpool Extra, crediting Paul Joyce. Forgetting statistics and simply watching Liverpool tells you everything is not how it should be. The first half of Forest was a particularly hard watch before Arne Slot substitutes and his switching of Rio and Gamoa to the right paid dividends, further increasing calls, of course, for him to be included in this weekend's starting 11. Now, I'm just about to record my preview for the West Ham game, folks. That is going to be out tonight, so keep an eye out for it. Remember, no late night agenda tonight, but we will be back tomorrow. Connor will be here with a stream in the morning, then I'll be here tomorrow night for the late night agenda. Until then, thank you for watching. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section, and don't forget to enter our giveaway. Only a few days left to go. A signed Jurgen Klopp frame shirt, completely free. Scan the QR code below or use the link in the description. We'll see you later on. Much love. Bye-bye.